We do have more hacks and attacks and stuff going on. In particular, I found this out from Fubar yesterday regarding the Nomad bridge hack. And he did go over essentially what was happening, but we do have a wrap up, I think, on CoinDesk here that's going to make it a little bit more clear. Nomad bridge drained for nearly $200 million in exploits. The exploit calls the security of cross-chain token bridges into question once again. The cross-chain token bridge Nomad was exploited Monday, with attackers draining the protocol of virtually all of its funds. The total value of cryptocurrency lost to the attack totaled near $200 million. Nomad, like other cross-chain bridges, allows users to send and receive tokens between different blockchains. Monday's attack is the latest in a string of highly publicized incidents which have drawn the security of cross-chain bridges into question. Now, I was tying this to you, of course, what Ergo is doing with Cardano and changing it up. It's kind of funny timing that both of these are coming up right now because, like we were talking about over here with the Spectrum network layer, there were these vulnerabilities that they discussed in particular with these sort of cross-chain bridges as it pertains to DeFi. So, Monday's attack is the latest in a string of highly publicized incidents which have drawn the security of cross-chain bridges into question. The Nomad team acknowledged the exploit in a statement to CoinDesk. What is basically going to happen here is probably we're going to see one of the issues that we were discussing with the Spectrum network, right? So not Spectrum network, but one of their other ones that they were talking about. I think they talked about it here where you end up with a man in the middle attack is essentially one of the things you have to worry about. But an investigation is ongoing and leading firms for blockchain intelligence and forensics have been retained, the team said. We have notified law enforcement and are working around the clock to address the situation and provide timely updates. Our goal is to identify the accounts involved and to trace and recover the funds. So what happened? Bridges typically work by locking up tokens in a smart contract on one chain and then reissuing those tokens in wrapped form on another chain. If the smart contract where tokens are initially deposited gets sabotaged, as happened in Nomad's case, the wrapped tokens no longer have any backing, which can render them worthless. On Twitter, Sam C. Sun, which we were talking about over here, we had his pulled up, a researcher at crypto investment firm Paradigm, explained that a recent update to one of Nomad's smart contracts made it easy for the user to spoof transactions. This meant users were able to withdraw money from the Nomad bridge that didn't actually belong to them. Unlike some bridge attacks where a single culprit is behind the entire exploit, the Nomad attack was a free-for-all. You didn't need to know about Solidity or Merkle trees or anything like that. All you had to do was find a transaction that worked, replace the other person's address with yours, and then rebroadcast it, he explained. Bridge attacks have become more frequent in recent months as crypto users have demonstrated an increased appetite for swapping assets between different blockchains. While cross-chain bridges have made it possible for upstart blockchains to proliferate, bridge failures can be devastating for smaller chains that rely on them for large amounts of their total liquidity, which was the problem we were also talking about that Ergo Dex was addressing in the Spectrum network. Evmos, one of the newer blockchains serviced by Nomad, tweeted that it would be brainstorming community solutions to the Nomad attack, given that it significantly impacts initial Evmos, I guess, total value locked. The largest decentralized finance attack in history, April's Ronin bridge attack, saw over $600 million worth of crypto siphoned out of a bridge that powers the blockchain-based game Axie Infinity. Just a few months before that, over $300 million was drained from the Wormhole bridge, wreaking havoc across the Solana blockchain community and the wider decentralized finance ecosystem. Nomad sold investors on the vision that it would be fundamentally more secure than alternative platforms. Just last week, it revealed that crypto heavyweights Coinbase Ventures and OpenSea were among those who participated in an April seed around which they valued the company at $225 million. Case in point here for essentially the Spectrum network. And I think that is really kind of funny how both of these lined up. It worked out perfect for today's show to kind of demonstrate what the problems with DeFi and cross-chain bridges are. And it does mean also that if you're participating in them, you want to be very, very careful when you're swapping funds, etc., because you could end up losing funds. So you want to be extremely careful when you're doing it. It does bring up the question, is it safer right now to avoid cross-chain bridges and utilize centralized exchanges for your moving between networks? For example, like moving between Ethereum and Cardano, or, taking stuff off Uniswap to go put it into PancakeSwap. Is it better to utilize a centralized exchange for now until DeFi cross-chain bridges are really sorted out and the security is figured out on them? I'm curious on y'all's thoughts about that. And I'm just talking about from how you should be interacting with the blockchain on a day-to-day basis right now, because these are kind of exploits that have been taking place quite frequently, and there does need to be a solution. Now, I'm not necessarily smart enough to say that the Spectrum network is a solution coming from Ergo Address, but they are acknowledging the issue, which I find extremely interesting. And they were acknowledging it, before this hack as well. It's not like they used it for publicity. This was posted on the 29th of June, and the Nomad hack happened yesterday on August 1st. So I just want to bring that up, and I think it's super important. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Crypto Mining Show. You can check out the full episode here or more crypto content down here. Also, I'd like you to check out my locals page at sonofatech.locals.com, where you can become a member for free or choose to be a $5 a month supporter that unlocks additional content.